I wanted to do a quick video here about issues bleeding the clutch in the master cylinder on this Husqvarna 701 or KTM 690. Actually, this is probably any KTM Husqvarna with a Magura clutch setup. I typically reverse bleed, so I put a syringe on there and I push fluid up to the master cylinder. When I tried to do that last week, I couldn't get any fluid to come up to the master cylinder. It felt like it was blocked, like there was a clog. I took off the clutch line down at the bottom. No fluid came out from the top. And that's kind of how I knew that it wasn't a slave cylinder issue. This has an Oberon. Supposedly, according to Oberon, they never go bad, but everything goes bad eventually. So I knew it was the master cylinder. I did get a rebuild kit from the dealer. Here, let me show you what that part number is, just in case you actually do end up needing it. There you go. So it comes with a push rod, the piston and seals, the spring, the little booty, everything you need, right? Not cheap, 140 bucks. But the dealer only had one of them, so that's why I bought it, just in case I needed it. But one thing that I noticed is that when I played with the lever, it just flopped around. It had no resistance at all. And yeah, I get it. The system at that point was empty, but still, I mean, you should be able to feel the push rod pushing in that piston in the bore, and I couldn't. So that kind of made me wonder what's going on in there. Took off the lever, and I found that the push rod was just like completely out of place. So it must have slipped out of the cup that is in here. So I went ahead, took off the booty, took off the push rod, cleaned up the push rod, greased both ends, put everything back together. And then because I was feeling a little unsure, I decided, hey, let's just gravity bleed it, right? If fluid doesn't move down from the reservoir here, then I still have a clog, which would probably mean the clutch line itself, or that the seals in the on that piston inside the master cylinder bore are somehow bad, or there's garbage in the master cylinder bore, or garbage in there. And I put fluid in, kind of played with, I depressed I didn't put the lever on yet. I just depressed the master cylinder piston, and I could see bubbles coming up. Okay, hey, we're getting someplace. Went ahead, put the lever on, popped open the bleeder on the slave, and yeah, sure enough, you guys can see, it bled out. And then when you look at my hose, I don't have any bubbles in the hose. And I have an outstanding lever feel now. The reason why I did this to begin with is that, I bought this bike used. I've owned it for a year. I hadn't bled the clutch yet. And the lever action was just really poor. The engagement point was super short. And that's what kind of started all this. So do what I did. If you're getting a lot of pressure down on the bottom and you cannot reverse bleed, and then you can't gravity bleed, that's the next thing I would check. Then, if it's not gravity bleeding, crack free the clutch line down on the slave. See if it gravity feeds there. If it gravity feeds there, that means you've got something wrong with the slave cylinder. If it doesn't gravity feed, that means your problem is up here. And if you have a real floppy lever, your push rod's probably out of place, and you don't need a rebuild kit. Otherwise, you're probably going to have to end up rebuilding the master cylinder, or worst case scenario, replacing the whole thing. Hopefully you don't. That's $325 from Rocky Mountain ATV, much more from the dealer. So anyway, any questions, let me know. Bye-bye.